The ballroom at the old Charleston house looked beautiful that night, honestly. All those candles flickering, lilies everywhere. My favorite since I was a girl. The air smelled like salt from the ocean, and too much perfume. It was our 50th anniversary party, and everyone who mattered in that world was there. Politicians, people with trust funds older than me. Folks who still owed Vance favors from deals he'd muscled through decades ago. I was 70. I sat at the head table in this deep blue dress that felt too tight around the ribs. My hair was up, makeup perfect like always. People kept saying how elegant I looked. I just kept smiling because that's what you do when you've been doing it for half a century. Vance stood up with his champagne glass. He still had that voice that could fill a room without trying, smooth, confident, the kind people listen to even when they shouldn't. Everyone got quiet. He said something about 50 years being a long time. How life's too short to fake it anymore. Then he looked right at me and said, "Lucille's been a good wife. Loyal. Discreet. But I've met someone who actually makes me feel something again." He nodded toward Vanessa, his assistant, 25, red dress, standing there like she belonged. A few people gasped. Glasses clinked awkwardly. And then my boys started clapping. Raymond first, loud, almost proud. "Finally, Dad. Good for you." Stanley joined in, smirking like it was all a joke they were in on. The clapping spread. Not everyone, but enough. Enough that it felt like the whole room was saying, "Yeah, she's old news." I just sat there for a second, feeling it hit me in the chest. My own sons. The ones I carried. The ones I stayed up nights for when they had fevers. The ones I covered bruises for so they wouldn't ask questions. Clapping like I was the problem. I stood up slowly, took off my wedding ring, 50 years engraved inside, and set it down. It made this tiny sound on the tablecloth, but somehow it shut everyone up. "Keep clapping if you want," I said, not loud, just clear. "But before you get too excited, your real dad's sitting right behind you." You could have heard a pin drop. Everyone turned. There was Arthur, at this little side table near the doors to the terrace. He looked the same as always, silver hair, simple gray suit that didn't quite fit anymore. Hands folded around a glass of water he never drank. He didn't smile or wave. Just looked at me with those quiet eyes I used to know so well. Vance laughed short, mean. "What the hell is this, Lucille? The gardener? Come on." I didn't answer him. I looked at Raymond and Stanley instead. "I was 20. I started. Arthur worked for my dad, roses, hedges, all that. We fell for each other. It wasn't supposed to happen, but it did. When I got pregnant, my father sat me down and said, 'Marry Vance or you're out. No money, no name, nothing.' I was scared, so I chose the safe road. I chose you two before you even took your first breath." Raymond's mouth opened, closed. "We're Holloways. This is crazy." "You've got Arthur's blood," I told him softly. "But I let Vance sign the birth certificates. I let him give you his last name, his house, his money, his whole world. Because I didn't want you to grow up poor or whispered about. I thought that was love." Stanley gave this bitter little laugh. "And you let him hit you? For us?" I nodded. "Yeah. Once when you were 3, Raymond, you knocked over a vase. Vance grabbed my arm so hard it snapped. I told the doctor I fell down the stairs. Another time he made me end a pregnancy because he said we didn't need another kid. I did it. I smiled at parties while he brought other women home. I did it all because I thought that's what moms do. They protect. Even when it's killing them." Vance stepped closer, face red. "I knew the day that boy was born. Those eyes aren't Holloway eyes. But your daddy's money was. The connections. The name. It paid off. Simple." The room felt smaller then. Hotter. I looked around at all those faces that used to toast us every year. You all said we had the perfect marriage. But perfect costs something. I gave up teaching. I gave up writing little poems in notebooks I hid under the bed. I gave up a quiet life with someone who actually saw me. I became decoration. I pulled an envelope out of my purse and set it down. "This is the real prenup from 75. My dad put the house, the properties, everything in my name only. Vance never owned any of it. Papers are already filed. You've got till morning to get out." Vanessa's eyes went wide. She looked at Vance, then at the door, and slipped away without saying goodbye. Raymond stood up fast. You can't just throw us out. We built. You built on sand I pretended was rock, I said. I'm done pretending. Vance tried one more time later in the library, voice shaking now. Lucille, come on. 50 years. We can work this out. 50 years of me biting my tongue, I said. Of hiding marks with makeup. Of watching you tear down everything I cared about. No. We're done. The boys came in after, yelling. Raymond said I owed them. Stanley said I was ruining their lives. I listened. Then I just said, get out. 1 hour. An old friend, Samuel, the lawyer whose mom I helped when she was sick, told Vance flat out he wouldn't touch the case. She sold her grandma's earrings so we could pay for Mama's operation, he said. I'm not helping you now. By sunrise the house was empty except for me and the echoes. 6 months later I'm in this little cottage out by the marsh. Sage green walls, windows that look straight at the water. It changes color every day, gray when it rains, gold when the sun's low. I sold the big house. Half went to women who needed help getting away from men like Vance. The rest bought me this quiet spot, and enough to live without worrying. The mark from the ring is almost gone now. Arthur comes over most afternoons. Doesn't push. Fixes the squeaky step on the porch. Plants roses because he remembers I like them. Brings tomatoes sometimes, still warm from his garden. We sit on the swing and watch birds. We don't talk much. We don't have to. 50 years taught us how to just be. Some nights I still dream about the clapping. I wake up, make tea, read a few pages of Emily Dickinson till my heart settles. The boys tried reaching out once. Raymond's company tanked without the family money behind it. He's in some rented place in Atlanta, mad and stuck. Stanley's drinking got worse, lost his family over it. Their messages were half sorry, half asking for cash. I wrote back once by hand. I carried you both. I kept you safe the only way I knew how. But I can't carry your mistakes too. Figure out who you want to be. When you do, maybe we can talk. No more letters came. One evening the sun was setting all pink and soft over the water. Arthur was there, sitting close enough our shoulders touched. I never expected you to wait, he said quietly. I never really left, I answered. I took his hand. Rough from years of dirt and work, but warm. For the first time in forever, my shoulders felt light. I'm 70. I don't have to smile for anyone anymore. And in the quiet out here, with the marsh whispering and Arthur beside me, I finally sound like myself.